Okay, so now we're going to talk a little bit about keyword research specifically and tactics to perform keyword research. So the first thing to note is that when we're doing keyword research, meaning we're trying to figure out the keywords that we want to target in Google, the keywords that we want to add to our website to optimize the pages to our website to the keywords people are searching for in Google, all clicks are not created equal. The KPI is conversions. I can't stress this enough. It doesn't matter if you get a zillion people to your website tomorrow. If none of them do what you want them to do, then there was no point in that, right? So you have to optimize for keywords that drive qualified traffic, not just traffic. And what I recommend that you do is think about your business. You know, this isn't necessarily an SEO thing. This is a business thing. Think about, what do we do differently? For our products and services, what are we doing that competitors aren't? What are our real value propositions? How do we differentiate ourselves in our vertical, in our industry? And then think of keywords related to those, right? If you're the only one in your space offering free shipping for a certain product, you want to make sure that you're optimizing and letting people know that you offer free shipping, right? Whatever your unique value props are, think of those in terms of your keyword research, right? And then discover keywords that distinguish the brand, right? Uncover the keywords that your customers are using. And oftentimes what you have to do is put on your customer hat and think of, okay, if I'm a customer and I'm searching for my company or I'm searching for my product or service, how would I talk about it? What keywords would I use? What variations of those keywords would I use? What modifiers to those keywords might I use? What words would I add to those core keywords that are really the intent behind the search when somebody is looking for my product or service, right? So let's talk about choosing keywords for optimization, right? So this is an example of using your customer's language, right? So Urban Outfitters know that when women are shopping for certain types of pants, they're searching for bottoms, right? And so if you go to the Urban Outfitters site, you're gonna see that they're optimizing for the keyword bottoms. They obviously put their customer hat on, they're thinking through the keywords that people use to search for their types of products, and they're optimizing for that, right? So again, think of, for your business, what are those situations, right? What are those keywords? What are those words that people use that are specific to your industry that you can optimize for? And then we're going to talk a little bit about long tail keywords, right? So the long tail keyword is the idea of, you know, if somebody's just typing in the word restaurants, right? They're just looking for maybe images of restaurants or something. They're looking for just general information about restaurants. Then if they search for River North restaurants, okay, and I'm assuming that I'm a restaurant in River North, a French restaurant in River North right now, okay? They're searching for River North restaurants. Now we're getting closer to the keywords people might use to find a restaurant. Like, they're at least looking for a restaurant in my geographic area. And then if they search for River North French restaurants, that's dead on, right? That's our long tail keyword. That's somebody looking specifically for what we offer. They're looking for a River North French restaurant, right? So think of those keywords. Don't think of those broad keywords. Think of those long tail variations that are specific to how somebody would search for your product or service and optimize to those, right? Now, very, very important, Google released a major algorithm update last year, and it's going through in more in kind of mini algorithm updates throughout this year. It's called BERT, and BERT relates to what's called natural language processing. Basically, what Google's trying to do is they're trying to get really, really good at showing results based on how people actually talk, right? So here's a use case where somebody's searching in Google for 2019 Brazil traveler to USA need a visa. To us, right, to people that use the search engine, we probably can reasonably assume that that person is looking for a visa for themselves, right? They're not looking for general information about a visa or some news story about Brazil and visas, which is what Google would show before. They're actually looking for a visa for themselves, right? That's how people talk when they're searching for something online. So now Google is showing the US Embassy and consulates in Brazil how to actually get a visa, right? They're getting better at figuring out how people talk, how people search for things online, their intent behind that search, and then serving up the results that actually match up to that intent. This update has the most impact on queries including the words to and for, okay? People looking for something, or in this example, Brazil traveler to USA needing a visa. Again, they're trying to get better at understanding the intent behind searches. And so keep this in mind. And the biggest takeaway in terms of optimizing your website for BERT is just to write your content in a conversational tone, right? Write the way that people talk. Don't use super technical jargon or things that, you know, a layman couldn't understand, write in a conversational tone, write like people talk, right? And that's going to help you for this Google BERT update. Now, should be one of the core tools in your keyword research arsenal, okay? Google Keyword Planner. So basically what this tool allows you to do is you go to Google Keyword Planner, you type in a keyword. So here's an example for web designer, for example, okay? And what Google's gonna tell you is not only the actual search volume per month for the keyword web designer. So they're gonna tell you, okay, for web designer, there's 10,000 people per month in this geography in Chicago or in Illinois or in the United States, whatever you set the geography to, that search specifically for this keyword. But what the tool is also gonna do is spit out a lot of variations of that keyword, right? A lot of long tail versions of that keyword. So in this instance for web designer, they're showing me search volume for web design, for website design all crammed together with no space between the web and the design, right? This is really a tool meant for Google Ads, but it's a great tool for SEOs to use so that you can understand how popular the terms that you may want to optimize for actually are, and to get new ideas on keywords that you might never have thought about that could be great to drive traffic into your website's pages. It's also going to show you some trends data, meaning seasonality over time of that keyword. So it'll show you, okay, if you're a web designer, typically in December, that's when you should see an increase in searches for web designer, right? Or in Q2 of the year, there's usually a lull in people looking for a web designer for whatever reason, right? And so you can kind of plan out the seasonality of SEO of the organic traffic into your website, if you're running paid ads, of the paid ad clicks that you're gonna get via this tool. Very, very important. This is a great tool to use if you're looking for very specific keywords that you want to target and figure out a strategy in, okay, this keyword should match up to this section of the website and so on. Now, let's assume that you don't have time to learn something like Google Keyword Planner, which does take a little bit of time and effort to learn how to use. There's an easier way to do keyword research. Google Autocomplete, right? So if you go to Google and you start typing something in, so in this example, I'm using the keyword wedding, okay? What Google's gonna do, and there's no search volume behind this, there's no real data behind it, but they're gonna show you other searches that are popular for that particular search term, right? So if I have a wedding blog, for example, it's gonna show me that, okay, people search a lot for wedding thank you cards, for a wedding thank you template, for a wedding helper, a wedding thank you gift, wedding thank you notes, wedding dresses. It's gonna show me all of these other searches that are related to the search that I put in. Now, if you just go to your browser and do this right now, it's also gonna take into account the history, the searches that you've already made in Google. So it's typically a good idea to go into incognito mode and perform this search so that it's not showing different results to you just based on your prior search history. But this is a really great example. And you know, if I had a wedding blog, for example, and I see this data, one of the first things that I'm gonna do is set up a template for a wedding thank you card and put that up on my blog, right? I know people are searching for that. Why not provide that valuable content to people? I know that they're interested in that topic, right? And so this is something where if you're looking to do keyword research and you have 5 minutes to do it in, this is a good tool for that. If you're really looking to do real keyword research and figure out actual data behind the keywords that you're targeting, I highly recommend using Google Keyword Planner. So let's talk about an example here. So what keywords would a qualified consumer use to find this page? So this is a company called Anthropology. They sell apparel, they sell accessories, shoes, and a lot of bedding products, beauty and wellness, home goods, that sort of thing, right? So you can see on their website what they're optimizing to: top-rated bedding, a reversible quilt, an organic duvet cover, white comforters, right? Research what you sell and who you're selling it to, and then use their language. You can see that throughout their website, as an example, they're not optimizing to the keyword duvet. They're optimizing to stitched linen duvet cover, right? That's the long tail variation that's driving e-commerce transactions for them, for that particular product, right? So you have to think very specifically of those keywords to target. This is another great tool to use, Google Trends. So what this is going to do is show you search volume data over time for a long period of time. So I think you can go up to 5 years right now in Google Trends, and you can see the peaks and valleys in interest for the keywords that you're targeting over time. So if you're a Chicago bankruptcy attorney, for example, you can put in Chicago bankruptcy attorney and it'll tell you the interest in that particular keyword over time. This is particularly relevant now, obviously with COVID-19 going on and quarantine and the current state of the world, because it helps you to kind of plan out seasonality and also look at, okay, over the past month, has there been a significant decrease in search volume for my products and services, right? Should I be concerned? Is there an uptick, right? Are people more interested in my particular product or service right now? Is it because we have an e-commerce website, we're selling online, whatever the the situation calls for, but this is a great tool to use right now just to check and see how interest has waned over the past couple of weeks in your particular services or products, right? You can also use this for keyword research, but really it's for trends data. It's also going to show you interest by subregion. So it'll show you, this is a more popular product or service in Utah versus Montana versus New York versus Illinois, whatever geographies that you choose to look at. And then you can compare keywords against each other as well. So you could say, okay, what's the popularity for wedding dress versus wedding shoes? And I'll show you the differences in popularity for those topics. Very useful tool.